CBS News, America Decides, Election 2024. Here again, Norah O'Donnell.
Welcome back to CBS News Election Night headquarters in New York. It is 10 p.m. in the east, 7 p.m. in the west, and polls just closed in 3 more states, including a key battleground. Here's where we stand at the hour in the race to 270. Donald Trump has racked up early wins in Florida, Texas, and other red states. And so you can see he has 172 electoral votes, Kamala Harris 81. We're still watching these 7 battleground states. You can see them all here in purple. The polls just closed in Nevada, and CBS News rates it as a toss-up, along with every single other one of the battleground states that we've been watching closely. And so there's lots to still learn about how America decides and who they've chosen as the 47th president of the United States. But now, at this hour, all of the battleground states have closed, and we're going to be checking in on those to see what more we can learn, new exit poll information, new data from inside those states. Quickly, let's take a look at these new projections in Utah. CBS News projects Donald Trump will win. And CBS News projects the former president will also win in Montana. Montana has voted for a Republican in the last 12 of 13 presidential elections. Key Senate race there that we also are going to be watching closely tonight. And in Delaware, President Joe Biden's home state, CBS News projects Kamala Harris will win in that state. And let's take a look at Illinois. CBS News projects Harris will win there as well. Chicago was home to the Democratic National Convention this summer, where the vice president accepted her party's nomination. Now, to go inside the numbers, let's check in with Major Garrett and Anthony Salvanto with new information from the CBS News data desk, and excited to look at Georgia because almost 80% of the vote in. It looks like Trump has a lead, but where are we waiting for votes from?
Well, that's exactly the right question, Nora. Let me take you inside the way we're looking at it here in the desk. You're right that 80% is in, 79%. If I show you where the outstanding vote is, these circles, the larger they are, the more vote there is. And what you see is that they're from key Democratic counties, Fulton, DeKalb, even some from Cobb. Now, what do I do with that? Let me just back it out here for a second and show you. What I'm doing is I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it into our CBS News model, and I'm going to show you how we look at this at the data desk. This is right now the range of Donald Trump's potential percentage at the end, right? So you see a large range around that in that red bar. This is the range of Kamala Harris when I incorporate all that information into the model. And what you see here is that these have overlap. That is visually why a decision desk can't make a projection. As long as these ranges overlap, if they don't go apart, then there's a possibility that this race could flip. And that's why and how we incorporate that outstanding vote. Major?
And why don't you show, Anthony, the needs and our current estimate as the race stands right now based on the information we've received to date?
Well, she needs 59% of the outstanding vote, right? Right now, we think she could get 59% of the outstanding vote. So that's sort of another data point to say the race could get even tighter than it already is, and why you can't make a projection just yet, why I still rate it as a toss-up, Nora. Because
you're saying in the big city like Atlanta, there's more votes to come in.
Yep, that's it.
Can we do the same in North Carolina?
Yeah, sure.
We most certainly can.
All right, so here's North Carolina. Now, let's do the outstanding vote here because it's somewhat of a similar story, right? In and around Raleigh, you see the large blue circles, Wake County, okay? So you even see some here in Durham. So those are Democratic areas, and those, if they come in, and they come in for Harris. But I will add this, it's not just the percents, though. She's got to get the turnout there in order to catch Trump, because what you also see is around Charlotte here, see these large red circles? That's a lot of Republican vote that could still come in. 50,000 votes there. Major, go ahead.
Look at Mecklenburg County. That's what's remaining there. That's one of the things that the Harris campaign has to look at and say, boy, they really need to run up the margins in Mecklenburg County because you almost have 500,000 votes outstanding. Wake County, 156,000. We can actually put numbers on this. Guilford, 133,000. So there's areas really need to come in strong for Harris. one of the problems, go back to the regular map, Anthony, that Harris has run into. Look at these counties right here. And then, Anthony, go through the history on those counties.
Yeah, sure. Now, in these places, you do typically see a Democrat might do okay.
But on almost every single one of those, Harris is running slightly behind Joe Biden. This is an accumulating problem for the Harris campaign outside of Raleigh and Charlotte. These other areas, historically strong for Democrats, stronger for Biden than they have been so far tonight for Harris.
Right, and Biden lost North Carolina. And
correct, by 74,000 votes, yes.
Underperforming. John Dickerson has some exit polls, but before we do those, can we just take a quick look at Michigan? Because that blue wall, Michigan and Wisconsin, that the Democrats are banking on in order for her to become the next president of the United States.
So 17% in. We're still waiting for a lot more data out of Michigan for sure. But, Anthony?
Well, what's going to happen here is we're going to tell a similar story and see if she gets turnout, especially in Detroit. It's Wayne County. You're going to hear a lot about that as the hours go on tonight. Oakland County as well. So we don't have data in from there yet. I do want to show you this, though, just to give you the historical context here. Let me go back to Michigan for a second. So if I show you the 2020 presidential race in Michigan, and then I do that, tilting the state on its side, this will illustrate what I mean. See these larger, higher bars here? That's where there are more votes, right? There's more people in Detroit, for example, and Democrats have to get large margins there. So in the case of Detroit, we're going to be watching, can Kamala Harris not just win by a given percentage, but can she replicate something like the 330,000 vote margin that he built up there? And that comes back to the turnout story.
Same thing in Oakland County, just to the north.
Same thing in Oakland, right? We're going to be looking at that, and that's where Biden got 56%, so, but also got 100,000 votes more added to his total. The Democrats have to do that in order to carry the state, if they do, because the rural Republican counties add up, in this case for Donald Trump, Nora.
Okay, great. Gentlemen, thank you very much.